Today. The only change on the not practicing list from yesterday was AJ Boye. He's out today with an illness.
All right, appreciate it. Take care.
How is Leonard doing as a three-down guy?
Good. Well, I mean, that's what we're working on. So he seems to be doing a good job.
What elements of that are improving for him?
Oh, just overall, being out there, being able to, carry the load and, in first and second and stay out there on third and just keep him up, abreast to, it's a little bit different on third down, schematically what we do. So, he's just, getting himself comfortable with that.
With Ellis gone now, do you have the depth at the same linebacker spot that you would want, or are you still trying to work through that a little bit?
I mean, we've got guys that can line up there. I think we got 2 more games to figure out, where we are with that. That's really it.
Come talk to you
about why?
Again, the players' conversations are private, but he was cleared, and and then the statement speaks for itself.
Go ahead, John.
What is your thoughts about Blair Brown and Donald Payne, and what do you see?
Well, Blair's been out for a while, what I'm saying, and then we just got him back in there, so he was out for a little bit. That's always tough during camp, when you're in an evaluation process, because like I said before, I just want to make sure I'm making the decisions based on what they've done now, not what they've done in the past. So, he's back there and he's starting to work, which is encouraging. And then what we did was we just wanted to look at some of the Mike linebackers, and we moved Payne over the Will, which I think is his more natural position. But he can play both, and they both got to do a good job, on teams. And as anything with our depth, we got to be able to do a good job on special teams.
Oh my God.
You guys are killing me.
I'll go.
I get a good workout though. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't neck pain is what you're gonna get.
No, my neck's good.
Okay.
Could McCray play the strong linebacker spot if you?
Sure, he's played it in a game for us. We got a bunch of guys that can play that spot.
Would you consider working him more there over the next couple of weeks?
I think when things shake out, we'll just make sure we're covered in every position. No different than we may have someone who plays corner, no safety, someone who knows safety, no linebacker. You know what I'm saying? It's because when you get to that roster, the 46, it gets tight, so you got to cross-train a couple of people. But, it's too early, really, right now for that.
You talked earlier in camp about liking this rookie class's approach off the field, the way they handle themselves. Overall, is still like that from them? What do you think of the group overall?
Off the field, yes, but, we need Brian to get out on the field, which he should be. That's the one thing that, you want to make sure, yeah, I appreciate all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you got to be healthy and you got to be on the field. And, that's like I say, there's 2 things. There's coachability and availability. I think all that young class is very coachable, and for the most part, most of them have been available, but, your first-round pick, you want to see that guy.
Do you always approach the third preseason game the same way in terms of?
I do, everywhere, man.
Starters. I mean, is there a different way to go at it that you considered at all, or no?
I'm sure there is, but I've never, I look at different things and where camp starts, and if you're playing the Hall of Fame game, for me, I'm not speaking for any other team, but for me, a lot of that stuff comes into play. Where you are, as far as overall health, you're not going to, take a chance on it. So I think there's a lot of things that go into it, but normally, yeah, you want to play a little bit more.
Could Fowler play maybe a little bit more Saturday than he would regularly because he?
Who's that?
Dante Fowler, being on PUP and then missing the last game. He hasn't played yet. Just to sort of get a look at where he is actually running, making tackles, that sort of thing.
No, I think we'll probably keep the same type of rotation that we normally would. I think that's a better question for the following week, which I haven't thought about yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
For guys trying to make the roster, younger guys on the team, there's a balance, right, of doing the job the right way, playing the position the right way, and then making a play and being seen on film. I mean, how do you coach against not doing too much and not trying to do too much and make the team, or do you talk to those guys about that, just doing your job? How do you balance that?
The only way you really don't, if you're a young player, is if you're not, if you're putting other people in jeopardy. You're not spending your time knowing what to do. But at the same point, you do everything you're supposed to. Great, person, all this stuff. Everything else is great. it still goes back to the same thing. You know, can you get the results? Now, when we practice, we're able to see who's in a position, you know, where they're able to make a play. You know, the only thing you can't see is the actual, you know, okay, he's in position, but can he tackle? And that's what you want to see in the games.
Blake's ability to bounce back after either a rough couple plays or a rough start, even if it's not necessarily his fault, how unique is that, or is that fairly common at this level?
I think if for anyone that plays at any position, you know, in this level, you know, you have to have that type of mindset that, you know, mistakes are going to happen, but, you know, and you can be successful, you know, if you make mistakes. But when you start making the same mistake twice, I think that's what really hurts you. You know, so I think that, you know, for pretty much, you know, most of our team, not only just Blake, you know, that's the one thing that we try to do. That's why, you know, we do things afterwards where we, you know, obviously correct it on the film, and we correct it on the field to make sure that, you know, we hit all the different avenues of learning, so we don't do that. And I think if you're the other way, I think it's difficult to play. You know, I think it's difficult. It's like, you know, you got to get knocked on your ass to knock somebody else on their ass. I mean, you're going to get knocked down in this game.
How did you grow in that area, Coach?
Who's that?
Blake. Seems like it.
I don't know. I mean, he went through some tough times last year. You know, I think I probably would rely more on what happened, you know what I'm saying, last year, and just a guy that, you know, has done a very good job of handling, you know, all the adversity from a standpoint of, you know, media or his teammates, you know, things of that nature. Internally, you'd have to ask him, you know, but he doesn't seem to – he seems like a guy that's able to bounce back.
How do you feel about Kessler as the backup heading into this last stretch of preseason?
I feel good about him. I hope we can protect him better. You know, I think anytime, you know, I'm not foolish enough to know that, you know, if any of the quarterbacks, if your quarterback gets hit early, you know, it's going to be tough. So, you know, we need to do a better job protecting them, and that's everybody, and a better job of getting open, you know, to get a true evaluation. But I have no issues with him.
You mentioned the guy, I think you mentioned this with Patrick Omame last year, the guy maybe played better than he practiced.
Yeah.
Do you have a bunch, some guys that are fighting for spots now that have shown the same kind of thing?
Not off the top of my head. No, not off the top of my head. I think I might have said that maybe during the season, or did I say in training camp? During the season, I might be able to say that, because I get concerned when you don't practice as much during the season, you know, and then you're able to go out there and play. But I think that's too early now, you know, for those players.
How has Avery Jones performed for you?
Good. He's playing well.
What have you seen in terms of strides that he's made, improvements?
Well, he's in shape, and he's running around well, and, you know, he has, you know, he has flexibility, you know, in his position. And I think, you know, Abe has always, you know, struggled a little bit when he first reported, you know, and, you know, I think he was in quicker shape, you know, this year, and I think he's in good shape right now. He's playing like he plays during the season, so he's prepared and ready. Philip, don't interrupt me. Okay, so I'm going to tease him too. So I mean,
where he got chopped down and then got back up and made a tackle, is that almost sort of a wow play? I mean,
is that almost like a wow? No, I just think that's a guy. The thing about defense, you know, it's funny. What I do is I look at people that, you know, when they do get on the ground, how fast they get up. You know, and I look at that in practice, and I look at that everything else. I think, you know, you never want to be on the ground. You know, so you want to make sure that you pop up. But is it a good play? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a good play. I don't know if I ever say wow, except for just now. I don't know if I use that word. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, oh, that's a good play. Yeah.
But it is what
Is it what?
Two more.
I would say it's
a good play. Good play.
Yeah. I got one, and then
Danny's the closer. At tight end, do you feel like you've gotten better at any specific spot, like as far as receiving or blocking from last year?
I think we like where we are right now, but I think a lot of it's going to depend on what type of production we get out of it. You know, I mean, you know, are there people in that room that can produce? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if you don't produce on Sunday, you know, then you're going to say, hey, we're not getting enough out of that room. So, but I think we do have the people in that room that have the capability of doing what we need them to do.
this one's going to be fun. Doug Peterson's book dropped today.
Did you draw the short straw?
Nope.
Okay.
Doug Peterson's book dropped today.
Yeah.
Are you aware that he was critical?
yeah.
Okay, did he call you and warn you? Does that happen?
No,
to
I
professional
got
works?
a couple of text messages, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, blah, 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 you know, and I'm just like, hey, Doug won the Super Bowl, Doug did a great job of coaching. You know, I'm sure there's a long line of people that have the same, you know, questions or feelings. And, you know, it's just what you're going to do. I mean, I read a book in the offseason, you know, by Mark Manson, you know, the New York #1 bestseller on the time. So, you know, those things happen, and that's it. But I respect the hell out of him and his team, and he won a Super Bowl. So I really can. We lost, and when you lose, you know, you question everything. So I don't have a problem with it.
Will your book justify why you did what you did?
I'll never write a book. I'm not smart enough to write a book.
Maybe a ghostwriter?
No, I don't like that. No, because I think if you're going to write one, you write one, right? Then you just send to someone to check for the grammar and spelling. So I don't know. I'm not a big book writer.
I'm available.
I'm a good drink a beer, tell a story guy. I think that's the one. You know what I mean? I'd rather drink a beer and tell a story than write a book.
What's your favorite beer?
Myself?
Yeah.
Land Shark.
Sure.
I always drink beer out of a clear bottle. I don't know. I just want to see what I'm drinking. You know, those dark bottles. I know I can't say it, but you know, I have issues. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.